New college football stadiums are not all that common. However, that doesn't mean that there are some that were definitely a waste of money, whether it's due to market, attendance expectations and results, or price. And in this video, we will take a look in detail at 3 of them. These are college football stadiums that were a waste of money. First, we have the University of Akron's Infocision Stadium. This stadium opened in 2009 with a capacity of 30,000 at a cost of $61.6 million. The idea behind this stadium was to bring football back to campus with the hopes that attendance would improve and costs could be saved. As the existing stadium, the Rubber Bowl, was over 60 years old and several miles away from campus in downtown Akron. Going into the construction of the new stadium, however, Akron Zips football was not drawing crowds close to the capacity of the Rubber Bowl, nor what Infocision would hold when built. The stadium would bring football to campus, but the crowds really didn't improve. Over the years, it has gotten so bad that it is regularly less than a quarter full for games. In fact, the 2024 average attendance was only 6,374 in a stadium that holds 30,000. On-the-field play doesn't help either, as the team has only made 3 bowl games in the last 25 years. Akron has lost roughly 35% of its population in the last 65 years, and due to this and its proximity to Cleveland, its venues, and other regional venues, the stadium is not a concert destination either, only hosting 3 concerts in its 16 years. While it is 16 years old, the university will still be paying off the stadium for another 13 years as of this video. And for what they are paying, they didn't even get a properly constructed stadium, as the college sued in 2019 multiple companies involved in the stadium's construction over poor railing installation within the stadium. Combine this with the lack of attendance and events here, and clearly the investment made here hasn't even come close to worth it. Next, we have UAB's Protective Stadium, located in Birmingham, Alabama. This stadium is relatively new, opening in 2021, and it was completed in only a year and a half. It would, however, cost $187 million. With a capacity of 47,100, it would still be quite large given UAB's average attendance before it opened. $90 million of public money would go into the project, with the idea that it could be a venue to draw events to Birmingham. This would be on top of being a college football stadium. Aside from the fact that UAB has not even been able to fill the stadium to half capacity on average since opening, the idea that it would be a magnet for large events in Birmingham may have been flawed from the start. The stadium has only had 4 concerts since opening 4 years ago, and with its capacity being what it is, to even fill it would require top-tier acts, something a city like Birmingham, the 47th largest metro in the country, would struggle to draw, especially since the University of Alabama and Auburn have larger stadiums where a stadium act could sell more tickets, which, in the case of Garth Brooks, who sold out Protective Stadium at 50,000, likely easily could have done at either of those 2 schools' stadiums, which are much larger. Birmingham has lost over 42% of its population since its 1960 peak, and has consistently and continues to lose population through today. Combine this with the fact that it's not a big metro to begin with, UAB being a relatively young program with not a ton of success on the field, poor game attendance, and a lack of concerts, one must wonder if a massively scaled back project would have been more beneficial for the school and Birmingham. Next, we have the youngest Ivy League stadium, and that is Princeton Stadium. This stadium, which opened in 1998, was completed at a cost of $45 million. Princeton no doubt needed a new stadium by the time this venue opened, as their previous home, Palmer Stadium, was falling apart and was, at a capacity of 45,725, definitely too big. Given Princeton was drawing an average of 10,239 fans a game by that stadium's final year. However, the replacement did not reflect the demand, as the new stadium would seat 27,773, well over this average. By 1998, the Ivy League had been in the lower tier Division I AA for 14 years at this point, and with attendance being what it was at the old stadium, they had the chance to build a stadium that actually reflected demand. In the short term, attendance improved significantly. However, after about 10 years, the shine of being a new stadium wore off, and numbers returned to around what they were before. In 2024, Princeton averaged just 5,364 in attendance. Given this, and the fact that Princeton is stuck in between the event destination cities of New York City and Philadelphia, it really makes one wonder what they were thinking here. The attendance was poor going in, and is worse today. They play and were playing in a lower tier of play, and the area is not a potential large-scale event destination. It is clear now that it would have been much better served by a much smaller and likely cheaper venue. College isn't like major pro sports. Locations, financials, and other things are very different, and sometimes colleges get their venues wrong, and when they do, they definitely can give off the appearance of being a waste of money. Thank you for watching.